Hey y'all, welcome back to A Dash of Gratitude. My name is Beth. This week I'm bringing you easy to throw together family dinners. And tonight, let me show you what I'm making. These sauces we picked up from Aldi not too long ago. I like to keep them in the pantry for easy dinner nights. We call this Tikka Masala Serena's favorite chicken because we bought it from Costco, like in the prepared meal section in Costco. But it's a little more affordable to just do it yourself at home. So you pick up this sauce, and I know you could do homemade sauce, I know, but we just use this. I bought this when it was on sale. And I really pretty much just follow the instructions on the bottom. So I'm going to season some chicken with salt and pepper, and I'm going to cook it in some oil on the stove top. I'm going to add onions and vegetables and the sauce. Then we're going to cover and simmer over low until the chicken is cooked through. I'm also going to make rice to go along with. I've got 2 packs of chicken thighs. I'm going to get these nice and trimmed. And along with the chicken and the sauce, I'm going to do peppers as well as at least 1 onion. And I haven't decided about these squash and zucchini. And then this is the type of rice we like to keep. I get it from Costco. They might have it at Sam's Club too, but I got this from Costco. And then if I have time, I'm going to prep these cucumbers just to have them sliced in the fridge. And I need to refill my onion bowl. I keep this in a bin in my pantry. So I'm going to refill with some fresh onions, and I think I'm going to prep some of these to go into the freezer. So I'm looking forward to a bit of a productive day in the kitchen as I make dinner. All right, I'm going to heat up some olive oil in this pot. And I'm going to turn it on like a medium-high heat. I'm just gonna add a little bit of oil. I got the chicken trimmed up. I did not video that. While the oil is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and prepare these vegetables. I'm doing 2 peppers and 1 onion. I wish I had a couple of different colors of peppers, but I don't. I just bought green this time while we were at Sam's Club this weekend. But you don't have to add vegetables at all to this. You can just do the chicken and the sauce. I really, really love adding vegetables. I think it adds a nice color and of course a crunch and of course a little extra nutrition. And the kids love vegetables too, so. But if you were in a pinch and didn't have a lot of time or didn't have vegetables on hand, or maybe you thought you had them but they weren't good anymore in your fridge or whatever the case, you could always just do the meat and the sauce. Now I guess you also could make this vegetarian and just do vegetables and sauce. I bet that would be really good too. I've only ever done chicken with vegetables. All right, this oil is popping. Ooh, I'm a little bit afraid to put the chicken in the pan. There we go. I'm just gonna toss it in there. Yep. I think I'm gonna keep it simple tonight and just do the meat, vegetables, rice, and I will do some of this other food prep for the freezers and the fridge. I've been so busy, y'all. I went into the fall expecting things to slow down from the summer season. I don't know what I was thinking. Fall is so busy. All good things, of course, but man, it's busy. And I'm just giving these peppers, you know, a rough chop. You can do it however you want. My cousin Gail is so good in the kitchen. So if you haven't seen this kitchen hack on my channel yet, I'm going to introduce it to you now. I'm going to cut up this onion. Usually if I have my contacts in, onions don't bother me, but I'm wearing my glasses today. So I'm going to cut this onion over a damp paper towel. And this will help prevent so much tearing from cutting the onion. And it really, really does work. When she told me that, I was like, kind of blown away because of course I believed her, but I just couldn't believe it too at the same time, but it really does work. And I definitely cry with onions unless I have my contacts in. So this hack is really, really cool. Again, I'm just gonna give this onion a rough chop. Did you know about this kitchen hack? Am I the only one who didn't know? I know I'm not the only one who didn't know because I've told other people about it and they couldn't believe it too. So if you didn't know before, now you know. Thank you, Gail. On the jar, it says to add salt and pepper, and I have the blend, which is salt, pepper, and garlic. So I am just going to sprinkle some of this on top of this chicken. It's been cooking on the one side already. I'm gonna give this a quick stir. I'm gonna let this cook a couple more minutes and then I'm going to add the vegetables. Okay, this chicken has been cooking for several minutes. It is cooked almost all the way through. It might be all the way through already, but I'm gonna go ahead and add these vegetables, and I did decide to chop up one of the zucchini as well. So I've got 2 bell peppers, 1 onion, and 1 zucchini. And I'm just gonna leave that chicken on the bottom for now, just so it can keep cooking a little bit, and leave the vegetables on top just for a few minutes, and we'll add the sauce. To make the rice, I'm going to take 4 cups of water and bring it to a boil. Then we'll add 2 cups of rice and cook for 17 minutes. I stirred in the vegetables with the chicken. I'm just going to add the sauce. Now I might add a little bit of water just to rinse out the rest of the jar. It also helps the sauce stretch a little bit. Robbie came in a minute ago and asked me what we were having for dinner, and I said Serena's favorite chicken, and he said, ooh, that's my favorite chicken too. So I guess we'll have to call it Serena and Robbie's favorite chicken. Of course, Olivia likes it too. We all like it. It's a really good, easy meal. So then we're just gonna give this a nice stir, and it's really hard to do with one hand. So this is what it looks like. It's just kind of an orange sauce, kind of a yellowy sauce. I'm gonna stir it all together. I'm gonna cover it, and then we'll simmer it for a little while. And we're waiting on the water to come to a boil, and I've already got my 2 cups of rice measured out. They're gonna go right into the boiling water in just a minute. Oh my goodness, this smells so good already. If you've never tried this before, you totally should. My kids are in there watching The Parent Trap. Now, I used to love the older version when I was a kid, but they got the newer version. I say new, it's still pretty old too, but I think is it Lindsay Lohan who's in it? I don't even know. Anyway, they're in there watching it for the first time, and it's holding even Robbie's attention, so that's kind of cool. All right, this water over here is boiling, so I'm gonna add this rice. I'm gonna give it a quick stir. Oh, you know what I meant to do? I like to cook my rice with chicken bouillon cubes. Oh, I do. I'm just gonna turn you down. I'm gonna add a couple of these chicken bouillon cubes in. I just really like the flavor. I like the flavor. And these are shelf stable. They keep for a long time. I picked these up from Sam's Club. I forgot about doing this. I should have had these ready. You could also cook your rice in chicken broth, and that's also very good. Or you could also just do it with water. That's always good too. All right, so I did 4 cubes because I used 4 cups of water. Now I'm gonna stir that together, pop on the lid, and set a timer for 17 minutes. I'm going to take some time and do a little bit more food prep. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these up and put them in the fridge for just, so we can have fresh cucumbers to have. And then I'm gonna chop the onions to put in our big freezer. I'm gonna chop some of the onions to put into the freezer, and then I'll keep some for fresh. That's a really great way to utilize the onions that you buy like from a big box store like Costco or Sam's.
Mommy,
You know, you can, yes dear,
look.
you can get them. What is it? It's a little dinosaur.
No, it's gone.
Oh. So you can get a good price on things like onions and peppers.
I'm a Falcons fan.
Falcons fan, that's right. You can get a good price on onions and peppers and things like that from a store like Sam's or Costco, and then keep out what you need and freeze the rest. It's a great way to use them. And it's a good way to prep food for your own convenience. I got 1 gallon freezer bag full of sweet onions chopped, and that was about 7 onions. It might have been 6. I think 1 was not good. I had to throw it away. And then I got 1 container of cucumbers for the fridge. I love a good food prep moment. And of course, the rest of those onions are going right into my pantry. This is all done. Looks delicious, smells amazing. It is gonna taste good. Quick and easy dinner. The part that took the longest was trimming the chicken, which I didn't have to do, but I do prefer to do that if I have time. And the rice. And here we go. It's looking so good. This is Robbie's dish. I do more meat for him than any vegetables because he doesn't love the vegetables in the sauce. He prefers his vegetables raw, which is fine, but that's his dinner.
Okay, so I think the chicken is like really good and juicy, and the rice just like blends perfectly with it.
Yes.
And I really like it.
Your favorite chicken still? Excellent. Robbie, what do you think? Ooh, it's hot. What do you think? It's good? Let it cool off. Ooh, let it cool off. Let me get you some water. It's so good.
Falcons fan.
Falcons fan. This next recipe is not a dinner recipe, but it was a 5-star family favorite appetizer, which I don't do them very often, but I've been wanting to try this one for a while, so I decided, you know what, this fall is the fall we're going to try this fun fall appetizer. So I roughly followed a recipe online, but I will type out exactly what I did in the description box below. I just took 2 blocks of Philadelphia cream cheese, 2 capfuls of that ranch seasoning, the Kinder's Ranch. Look at this, you guys. I could not believe this happened to me. That really happened. My little pumpkin spatula. Anyway, fork handled the job just fine. I added a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese into the cheese ball, and then I formed it into a ball shape. And then you'll see how I made it look like a pumpkin. So I've seen this all over the internet for a couple of years, and I've been wanting to try it. I'm so glad I did because it was so easy and so worth the effort. It came out looking adorable. Everybody loved it so much. You'll see that I added it onto a charcuterie board. This actually, the day I was making this, it was actually on Halloween. It's perfect for Halloween, fall time. This would be great for Thanksgiving as well. It's going to be the cutest cheese ball you've ever seen. You're pretty much not even going to believe it. This string that I'm using here actually came from like the Christmas wrapping paper section some time ago. I think I found it at Home Goods, but I've had it for a couple of years. And I didn't have any like kitchen twine, but I knew I had this and it worked just perfectly. Any type of string or ribbon or kitchen twine would do for this project. After I get it all tied into sections like this, I secured it on top with a bow and I put it in the fridge to chill together for a couple of hours before we enjoyed it later that evening. Maple-filled cream cookies, ghost marshmallows. We had a little goat cheese up there on the top, some cured meats, cheese and crackers, and of course that adorable pumpkin cheese ball. I put a celery in top for the stem. It was perfect. I have a 5-pound bag of potatoes that I peeled most of the way. There were a little bit of the peels I left on, and I'm just going to boil them until they are fork tender, and we're going to turn these into some incredible mashed potatoes. I will type out the directions in the description box below, but we're going to add 1 block of cream cheese, 2 sticks of butter. We're going to add a cup of milk. I would have used heavy whipping cream, but I don't have any. I got the potatoes in my bowl. I'm going to add 1 block of cream cheese and the 2 sticks of butter and the cup of milk. I'm going to whip it together, add a little salt and pepper, and they're going to be delicious. Friends, when I tell you these mashed potatoes are top-notch, 5-star family favorite, I'm not joking at all. All the recipes in this video are delicious. Robbie, how about these? Looking good. These look so good. I have not made mashed potatoes in the longest time, and these look creamy and dreamy. Brayden, how'd you cook this chicken tonight?
What was your process?
It's grilled on the Kamado, maybe 20 minutes,
Yeah.
25, somewhere in there. Cracked pepper Parmesan, Japanese barbecue. So put a little glaze on there after it was done. And then we'll probably put some on as we eat it.
Looks really good. What do you think, Robbie?
Yep.
How
Smells
does
good, doesn't it?
Smells good? Cool.
Can you smell it, channel?
Can you smell it, YouTube? I wish you could. It does smell good. This meal came together beautifully. The mashed potatoes were amazing. The chicken was so delicious. It was cooked to perfection. The broccoli we just roasted at 425 for 14 minutes. We stirred about halfway through. But the broccoli was delish. The star of this show were these mashed potatoes. And I wanted to show you, I don't know if you've ever tried this Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse, but it's so good on mashed potatoes or in potato soup. Yum, yum. And this Japanese barbecue, we hadn't used it before today, and we were really pleased with it. It's very tasty. We also dipped some of the chicken in this chicken dipping sauce. Also, very, very good. We love Kinders in our house, obviously. Sabrina and I are about to whip up a no-bake pumpkin pie with graham cracker crust. These are the ingredients. We've got powdered sugar, a cup of milk, graham cracker crust, and this recipe makes 2. So we have 2 crusts, 2 8-ounce whipped topping containers. We've got a can of pumpkin, vanilla pudding, and a block of cream cheese. Now, this recipe does call for pumpkin spice, cinnamon, and nutmeg, but I don't like all those, so we usually just do our own pumpkin pie spice with cinnamon and ground sugar. I don't know what happened to the footage of us preparing this pie, but it came out really, really nicely, and I will link the recipe down below as usual.
Ready?
All the way down through the crust.
Yeah, baby, cut that pie. Oh, yeah.
Everyone in our family really enjoys pumpkin pie, and this was a really nice twist on the classic recipe. Plus, I always appreciate a recipe that is a no-bake recipe. Those are actually my favorite because I don't bake often, so the no-bake is perfect for me. But this was very tasty, and we shared it with some friends. They also really enjoyed it as well. The bottom layer of this pie filling is cream cheese, powdered sugar, and then 1 of the tubs of whipped cream. And then the top layer is made up of pudding, milk, pumpkin, and the spices. Everybody loved it. Also, I had to take the sound out of this because we were playing music in the background, which sounded so awesome. I wish I could include it on the video, but I could get dinged for copyright. Tonight for dinner, I am making $1 million baked spaghetti, and this recipe is going to be one of your absolute favorites. I cannot wait. It's been a while since I've made it, but y'all know Robbie loves pasta the most, and he was so excited that we're going to be making this tonight. These are all the ingredients we're going to be using today. The crescents I'm going to do separately, but the recipe only calls for half of this block of cream cheese, so I'm going to fill the crescents with the other half. That way I don't have extra cream cheese hanging out in the fridge. In addition to these ingredients, I've got 2 pounds of ground beef we're also going to use as well. All right, let's get started. So I've got half a block of cream cheese, and I'm going to measure out half of this container. This is a 15-ounce container, and we only need 8 ounces, so I'm just going to, roughly measure out half. This is ricotta cheese. Also, as always, I will link this recipe in the description box below. Then we need half a cup of cream cheese. And I think I'm just going to estimate that measurement too. Looks about right. On the stovetop, I've already got the ground beef cooking, and the water is almost ready. It's actually, I need to go put the noodles in, but I'm going to cook them until they're almost al dente. All right, I'll be back to mix this in a moment. We're going to cook this for 10 minutes. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. And this is just
10 minutes starting now.
This is 16 ounces of regular spaghetti pasta. And then over here we've got our ground beef, and it's almost all the way cooked. I did add a little bit of salt and a little bit of Italian seasoning over here too, because it's good to flavor every layer. That's gonna make it extra good. Let's mix this little mixture up. I'm using, I should have showed you before I started mixing, but this is called a whisk. It's a fork and a whisk together. And hopefully it's gonna get this nice and combined. So this is the ricotta cheese, the cream cheese, the sour cream, and the Italian seasoning. Oh my goodness, this recipe. So I gotta tell you a story about this recipe. It's been maybe a year or two ago, and I made this one night when Brandon and I had a date. We were going out together to one of our favorite restaurants, and I asked my mom to come over and be with the kids while we went, and I made this for them because it's nice. I like to leave the kids with food if they have a sitter coming. I just like to do that. I think it's nice to do. So I made this, and I took it out of the oven before we left for our date, and I wanted to stay home from our date and have spaghetti instead. It looked so good and smelled so good. Well, this seemed to do a pretty good job. It looks really good and well combined and just right. The ground beef is done cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and add these 2 jars of sauce. The recipe calls for 45 ounces of any type of pasta sauce that you like. So I'm just using these 2. Also, I would like to note that in the recipe it does call for a pound of ground beef and a pound of Italian sausage, but Italian sausage is not one of our favorite types of meat, so I just did double the ground beef. So we're going to stir this together. Now it's time to assemble this dish, and we're going to add a little bit of sauce into the bottom of the 9x13 dish. We're going to add half the noodles, half the sauce, and then half of the cheese mixture. Then we're gonna, and also we'll add mozzarella cheese to that, and then we're gonna repeat. It's so simple. Sauce for the base layer, just a little bit. And we're gonna try to do our best to add half of these noodles. So let's see how good we can do. think that's about good. I'm so excited. Okay. So essentially we're layering it like a lasagna. Okay. That's all going in there anyway. Okay, so I'm going to actually spread it a little bit and it's going to mix together a little bit, but that's what it's going to do anyway. I'm going to add mozzarella cheese. Then we're going to repeat. So we're going to add the rest of the noodles and the rest of both sauces in the same order. Real quick, I'd like to give a shout out to my mom. She was my camera person today on this video. So thank you so much, Jean. My mom is often in the kitchen with me, and I love that because, well, I love having her around. We're very good friends, but she also loves to help me with the channel. So I always appreciate her when she's there to help me too. We did have a couple of guests for dinner on this evening, and everybody had clean plate club all around. This dish is a crowd pleaser, and I do hope that you will try it because I do feel confident it will be one of your favorites. I just love sharing our favorite dishes with you guys. All right, let's take it to the oven.
Well, I tried that. He tried that.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
To prepare these crescent rolls tonight, I'm going to take just 1 can of store-bought crescent roll dough. This one is from Aldi. If you haven't tried this yet, it's so good. And then I'm going to take the other half of the block of cream cheese, and I'm going to season it with some of this seasoning blend. It's from Trader Joe's. It's the Italian style sofrito. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but it's a pretty good blend, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And I'm not going to measure, I'm just going to shake in what I think looks good. A little bit of salt, just like a pinch. Then I'm going to use this whisk again to just combine these together. This is one of my favorite ways to cook crescent rolls. I just think that when you add a filling into them, it just elevates them that much more, makes them just a little bit special. And the several times that I have used the Aldi brand, it usually has that one little corner left, a little bit of extra, and I always roll it for Robbie because he's not the biggest bread lover, but he will eat a bread or a biscuit or one of these crescents if they're really small. So I always reserve the smallest for him. And these just always turn out so nice, and you could fill them with anything. Sometimes I've done sour cream with seasoning and do the same exact thing. You could do any type of cheese or like a mozzarella cheese stick. You could use any type of seasoning blend, Italian, or whatever you like, whatever your family likes, maybe even like buffalo chicken or something like that. You know, you could really, it's endless, the options out there. But we really enjoy making these this way. And once I get them filled, I just bake them according to the directions on the package of the Crescents. Look at that tiny one. Okay, ready? Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's a little too done. You guys, it's bubbly. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes starting now.
This came out looking so good and tasty. It smells amazing. It smells like $1 million.
Hot.
It's hot? Is it good? Again, this meal came together perfectly. So delicious, satisfying, comforting, amazing. 5-star family fave. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some inspiration to bring back to your kitchen. Thank you for adding a dash of gratitude to your day, and we'll see you on the next video.